Carolina Insider is presented by Wells Fargo, official sponsor of Carolina Athletics.
We're back. Time for another edition of the Carolina Insider. My name is Jones Angell. That over there, right over there, that's Adam Lucas. Thanks so much for being here. We'll be with you for the next 30 minutes or so and have a bunch of good stuff to talk about. We're going to look back at that Florida State game this past weekend for Tar Heel football, look ahead to the rivalry matchup with NC State. We have an interview with Leaky Black. Leaky's going to join us to preview a little bit of the beginning of basketball practice, take us through what the last few months have been like for him and the team. Plus, we have our social drive coming up as well. The entire show brought to you by our friends at Wells Fargo. When our communities needed us, Wells Fargo was there and is still there to help. And Adam, let's go back to Saturday in Tallahassee. First 30 minutes for the Tar Heels, the hole was just too deep. Carolina played much better in half number 2, but couldn't quite get back to on top.
I kind of feel like this was false advertising, Jones, because you told us we had a lot of good things to talk about.
Yeah, we got to start off talking about something not as good.
And we're just going to get this out of the way and cleanse our palates after that. Carolina played much better in the second half, but just didn't have enough time to complete the comeback. You just can't win on the road in the ACC against a very talented team, making all the mistakes that the Tar Heels did. The interception returned for a touchdown, 2 blocked punts, some key penalties, just too many mistakes, some drop passes, of course, as you know, on that last drive. Just too many things to overcome. But boy, Sam Howell really played well kind of quietly for the second week in a row, one of the better performances of his career once he got past those first 30 minutes.
Yeah, a tough first 30 minutes for Sam, but the second 30 minutes quite impressive. And in fact, his overall grade for the week, as you see there, ranked out the highest of any quarterback in week 7. The 374 yards for Sam Howell, the second most in his Carolina career. And after not throwing a touchdown early in the game, came up with 3 of them in the second half to help the Tar Heels back in it. Also, Adam, Carolina continues to really excel at that running back spot. 2 weeks ago, it was both Michael Carter and Javonte Williams. There have been some games where it's just been Michael Carter or Michael more than Javonte. This particular game, Javonte had a bigger game, but as you see there, both of them continue to really have spectacular years.
And I thought it was interesting this week that Phil Longo said he'd really been pleased with the way his offensive line was run blocking. Thought maybe the pass blocking needed to get a little better. We'll see 2 more of the best running backs in the ACC this coming weekend because NC State also has a very potent 1-2 punch. Offensively, of course, they've lost Devin Leary and they've had to turn to Bailey Hockman at quarterback. So, Jones, I would think those running backs for the Wolfpack going to get plenty of work on Saturday in Kenan Stadium.
Yeah, Ricky Person, Zonovan Knight, both terrific running backs for the Wolfpack. They have one of the better defensive linemen in the conference, and Aleem McNeil up front. He had a pick 6, in fact, from his D tackle position against Virginia a couple of weeks ago. Peyton Wilson coming off a game where he had 19 tackles and 2 interceptions in State's win over Duke this past weekend. A little bit of youth in that secondary for the Wolfpack, but certainly a team that is off to a really good start, 4-1. And we'll talk a little bit more about the rivalry aspect of this game during the social drive, Adam, but always emotions are going to run high in this one.
And keep an eye on special teams because NC State's blocked punts the last 2 weeks. Carolina's special teams, as we know, have been a little up and down, so that's an area the Tar Heels will need to clean up going into Saturday.
That's a noon kick Saturday in Kenan Stadium. We'll be on the air radio-wise for that one at 11 a.m. And again, very limited fans in the stands, looking at 7% capacity. Adam and I, again, have some more tickets to give away for this one. When we get to our social drive, we'll talk a little bit more about that, about just how you can enter to win 2 tickets to the matchup with NC State. But Adam, let's take a look around some other Carolina athletics. We'll start with field hockey, and had a tight matchup with Duke this past weekend, but a game winner in overtime for the Tar Heels, and no big surprise, Aaron Matson was involved. Let's take a look and listen.
Back for North Carolina to Matson. Matson holds. Matson shoots, sends in front, score! North Carolina wins it in overtime.
So that was Hannah Griggs, Adam, who had the game-winning goal, the assist from Aaron Matson. And boy, Aaron Matson as good as there is in field hockey.
big-time friend of the pod,
Yeah.
Erin Matson, and no surprise that she would be involved on the game winner because she has scored or assisted on the game-winning goal in all 6 of the games Carolina's won. They're probably going to rename the ACC Offensive Player of the Week the Erin Matson Award at some point in the near future. She's the current ACC leader in goals, assists, and game-winning goals. So Erin Matson having the type of season that you would expect her to have. Karen Shelton's Tar Heels going to wrap up the regular season this coming week with a match against Wake Forest. Remember, the NCAA championship is not until the spring. The ACC championship is later in November, so kind of a confusing field hockey schedule, but you'd expect the Tar Heels to be in competition for all those titles.
Yeah, almost like 2 different seasons this year for all the fall sports around Carolina and the ACC. Let's go to men's soccer. Really competitive start to the men's soccer season in the ACC in total. You may remember last week we talked about a really exciting buzzer beater for men's soccer, topping Clemson, who was ranked number 3 at the time. The guys fell in overtime here recently at Wake Forest, who was number 1 in the country. The Tar Heels still ranked number 5. And Adam, take a look at these rankings. It's almost all ACC in the top 5.
4 of the 5 top 5 in the country are in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Carolina very nearly got another game-winning goal in regulation of that match against Wake Forest. The Wake keeper made a great save, and then the Deacs won it in overtime.
Let's go from the men's side to the women's side as far as soccer is concerned. And the Tar Heel women's soccer team still undefeated, still number 1 in the nation. Had a couple of wins up in the Northeast this past week over Syracuse and Boston College. And one of those 3 goals that you see that the Heels scored in that final score against BC was it's like a basketball fast break. Let's take a look.
Don't come back this year. We encouraged them to stay in England, didn't want to get in the way of their chance to make the English senior national team. They both signed pro contracts. Here's Isabel Cox with speed, working on Agresti. Cox is in, Auger the save, rebound is headed home.
So Isabel Cox with the basket, almost like a basket. Adam, it really was. It was only 2 touches there before the goal for the Tar Heels near the end. Roy Williams would have been proud with that.
And relentless effort by Isabel Cox. I think 12 seconds, Carolina going from end to end to convert that goal. The Tar Heels will face Duke tomorrow night. Don't be fooled. It's a non-conference matchup, but still a Carolina-Duke battle on the pitch.
Let's finish up this portion of the show with volleyball. And Carolina was in Raleigh for 2 meetings with NC State this past weekend, one on Friday, one on Sunday. The Tar Heels swept both those matches and, in fact, won 6 of 7 sets played in the 2 matches. They will close the regular season with a rescheduled match against Virginia coming next week. And Adam, actually on the audio version of the podcast, we heard from Joe Segula recently, who really had some good things to say.
He had sent us an email, which hopefully you heard on last week's audio pods, just talking about how he's tried to relate to his players and his assistant coaches during this unusual time and the importance of communication. Thought it was good both from a coaching standpoint and just a general human interaction standpoint. Really good words from Coach Segula.
So fall sports starting to get near the end of their odd and shortened seasons here. And also, though, winter sports starting to kick up. That includes basketball. And the Tar Heels have already begun practice. We had the chance to catch up with, a junior now, Leaky Black, about this unusual offseason, the beginning of practice, Leaky's goals as an individual and as a team for this upcoming year. So we'll get to that conversation presented by Coca-Cola. And after that, come back with our social drive here on the Carolina Insider.
I don't like to brag, but this podcast originated the Leaky Black fan club.
Oh, yeah.
We were on board with the Leaky train as far back as 2 years ago in the Bahamas. And the Leaky train is now somewhat unbelievably pulling into his junior season. So, Leaky Black, thanks so much for giving us some time today. What's going on here as you get ready for your junior season?
Just practicing, man. First of all, I appreciate y'all having me. It's been a while, but we just been doing a lot of rehab, a lot of weightlifting, a lot of on court one-on-one drills. Me and Coach Davis. So it's been a grind.
Leaky, you got to give us the scoop on why you have the greatest camera that we have ever had here on the video version of the podcast. It's like we're in the same room right now. You're crystal clear on that thing.
Well, that's one-sided because, y'all kind of blurry right now. I thought it was going on. New iPhone.
I feel like Doug Halverson might walk in at any moment and tell us we're too close to Leaky.
Yeah.
Just because he's so darn clear.
I know. Well, see, Leaky, that's what people need. They need you crystal clear and us very fuzzy. That makes things a lot better when it's that way. All right, so I know practice is just getting underway. Take us through let's talk about the past couple of weeks as you guys have been working out, getting on the court together some, now moving in to formalized practice. What's been going on? What do you feel like, and what's the team look like to you?
Oh man, the team looks great. The team looks great. I feel like we're so deep, man. I don't think I've ever been on a team this loaded with just like so many different weapons. You know, the big mans, we have so much length down there. Then the guards, you know, RJ, Caleb, Kerwin, Puff. Hope I won't leave anyone out.
Playtech.
Yeah, Playtech. I mean, Lebo. I mean, like the new coming guys, but like everyone just looks so good. They just playing with confidence, man, and just we look so good right now. And it's only day one. So.
What does having those bigger guys in the paint, how does that change the way you think you'll be able to defend on the perimeter and on the wing when you know you've got maybe big old Dayron Sharp back there ready to block some shots?
Man, he's a bully. I love him. I love him, man. I feel like it just opens the floor, you know, because they have to play the bigs honest, and then you have so many wings that can shoot the ball now, and so many shot creators and shot makers. It's just, we're so loaded, teams are going to have to play us honest, you know, and I feel like our big man, you know, G, he's still looking as amazing as he did last year. Walker Kessler is like 7 feet without shoes on. Like, and Dayron's just like a bully. It's real fun to watch.
Leaky, you guys have had just a lot of transition on the roster the last couple of years, more than I think a traditional Carolina team has had. How has the chemistry developed when you do have so many new guys who are going to be important to your team? How do you try to build that chemistry when you have so many new players coming in?
It's not as hard as you may think, honestly, because we just got a lot of guys that just like to stay in the gym this year, you know? Like, we're always in the gym. It's to the point Doug is, like, trying to cut us off. So we're just in there building relationships, you know, just messing around, you know, have serious workouts where we just, you know, not leaving until we feel comfortable with whatever we have going on, like whatever the workout may be. I feel like it's easier just because we're always in the gym or we're always in the weight room. So we're always together.
You mentioned that you have been working with Coach Davis quite a bit this summer and fall. What kind of things have y'all been working on and have you wanted to focus on going into this season?
Yeah, just getting confident in my game. You know, I feel like this is the most I've worked on my game since I could remember, you know, like just individual work. So I get up every morning with Coach Davis around 7 a.m. and meet him at the gym. We work out for about an hour before class, and that just gets my day started right there. Then I have weightlifting. You know, trying to work on my body, you know, get my weight up a little bit. The workout with Coach Davis at 7 a.m., we just work on just shooting, you know, just getting comfortable with off the dribble or spots or whatever the case may be, just fixing my jump shot. And I feel like it's came a long way since last year. So I'm really excited with that.
When you're working on a shot, is that just the repetitions? Is that how you feel like it improved, just getting shot after shot after shot up? Or is it something where you're changing things technically a little bit? How have you tried to improve there?
All of that, honestly, you know, it's getting shot after shot. It's just reps. It's reps and reps. And then after you get comfortable with that, you move to something else, try to tweak it a little bit. Add, like, say, like you just started with spots. You get comfortable with doing the spots, and then you add, like, a dribble. Once you get comfortable with adding a pump fake dribble, you add, you know, a different move, like between the legs, behind the back, and one dribble, like shot, like just keep adding different stuff. And eventually you do that every day and just keep getting the reps on reps. You'll get pretty comfortable with it.
Shooting a basketball is obviously something you've done your entire life. Coach Davis really knows how to shoot the ball. He was a great shooter and has been helpful to a lot of guys shooting the ball. What's something about your shot that he's told you that maybe you had never thought about it that way before?
He told me he sees that I can be one of the best shooters in the country. And when he first told me that, I was kind of looked at him like he was crazy. But these past 4 or 5 weeks I've been getting up with him and like actually working on my shot is I can see the difference. We all can see the difference. Like everyone always, comes in and just like tries to watch me. They like, I just feel them on the side, like just talking about it, like how far it's come. So it's really encouraging, honestly, and I'm really happy and fortunate to be able to work with Coach Davis. A shooter like him, so it means a lot to me.
Leaky, we talked to Armando recently as well. I asked him this same question, but it seems like a really long time ago that last season ended. And of course, so much has happened between that moment and now. But when you look back at last year, what kind of things can you take from that? Can you learn from? I know it was a season that nobody was happy with around Carolina basketball.
Right. You just look back and you just got to learn from everything. As hard as it may watch again on film, you just got to learn from it. Man, I know we're all fired up. We're all fired up just to play somebody. We don't care who it is. Play somebody. Like, we just need to get this bad taste out of our mouth. We're going to come in. We told ourselves we was going to come in every day being better than we were the day before. And you just keep building on that. And it's just, you can just feel the energy in the gym, while we're working out or whatever the case may be. So.
How do you feel health-wise? How does your body feel?
I feel great. This is the best I've felt in a long time. It's been a long summer grind, not taking hardly any days off, getting with Doug, really fortunate to be working with him. He's had a lot of time to, help me get everything situated, just building on my body, just adding muscle up top and in my legs so that my ankle's not a problem anymore,
All right, Leaky, can we get, I know you've talked about Dayron a little bit, can we get a snapshot Leaky Black scouting report on the freshmen that are coming in? Maybe just 20 seconds or something on each guy on what you've seen so far from all these new players.
Okay, we have so many, might help me go down.
Yeah, if you forget somebody, we'll help you.
All right, bet. So I gave you Dayron. You want me to go through Dayron again?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Man. The thing that stood out with me is I think Coach Rob compares him to like Montrez, Harold, and like Bam. Like he has like a high motor and he like tries to dunk everything. He plays so hard, man. He's just so big. Like it's just, how do you guard him? Like you just really can't guard him. He can shoot the ball, he can dribble it. He really has the whole game. I'm really excited to see him play and put the college basketball world on notice about his game. He's really going to turn some heads.
All right, how about Walker Kessler?
Man, my first time seeing him work out in the gym, he was catching the ball from the top of the key at the three-point line, taking one dribble, dunking it backwards, like a Euro step, dunking it backwards. He's so long, man. He's so physical. He's going to be really good. Him going up against Dayron and G, like every day, and Mondo, like he's a big man. We got some pretty good big men this year.
All right, how about Caleb Love back there at one of the guard spots?
Man, he's looked good. He's just so confident. He's the type you can he can go with the flow. He can get his anytime he wants. He's a shot creator. He makes plays for other people. He's just so quick. People don't really see that in this film, but he's really quick and powerful. Like it's like when he goes up to like finish through contact, like he's taking people with you, and he's only a freshman. So I mean, just imagine what a couple more weeks or two gonna do with him and Jonas. Him getting with Jonas and getting stronger. That's gonna be scary. He's gonna be dunking on people.
All right, we're halfway there. How about R.J. Davis back there too?
Man, we really love him. He pushes the ball like kind of like I want to say like Kobe, but he pushes the ball really well. Coach loves it. You can just see it on Coach's face every time he does it. So he's real confident too. That's a big thing about his game. He doesn't care how tall or big he is. He's real confident. He can shoot the three. He makes the three real well. But like I think his game, he gets to the cup like he's like 6'10". He's finishing over Mondo and finding ways to get into their body and different ways to finish. He's real crafty. He's real quick too. So he's plays real confident, and yeah, we really love him.
All right, how about those two wings, Puff Johnson and Kerwin Walton? And then the test is over after that, Leaky. Those are the last two.
I'm gonna start with Kerwin. Kerwin, it's funny because when we first when we all first got here, Kerwin would just stay in the gym. When I tell you, it was one day, it was like going on for like a while, but it was one day I walked in, and I think one of the managers had told me that he made he doesn't leave until he makes like 120 something like in a row. He didn't leave that day until he made like 130 in a row. When I tell you he made like 130 in a row, he made 130 in a row. And he does that I think every time he shoots, he ends on something powerful like that. Like he really can shoot. Like he's really streaky. He's a real confident player. He's going to be good for us. He's going to be huge. He's going to allow the defense to play us honest, because the way he shoots the ball, man, you can't leave him.
And then Puff Johnson, last one.
Puff, man. It's like we have Cam Johnson on our team again. So it's crazy. Like they sound alike. It's crazy. Like everything they do is just alike. But he's just left-handed. He's super long. I think his wingspan is almost the same as mine. He looks like he's already been in the gym a little bit. He's just so powerful. He tries to bully people, and he really can shoot it too. So.
If I had to stay in the gym until I made 120 in a row, Leaky would just come in one day and there'd be my bones over in the corner. It looks like he never made it to 120.
Oh man, it was something to see though. When word started going around about that, people started going out to the court and seeing him, do that. Started motivating everybody else to get in the gym too. So, it's be a fun season.
Leaky, how are you doing just personally? This has been such a weird 6 or 7 months now for everybody. How's your life been? How have you been handling all this? Man,
it's been crazy. Honestly, I don't feel like anything has changed for me though. I've just been, I'm an introvert, so I don't really like going out and talking to many people. But this time has just allowed me to really focus on every little thing about my game, and get my body right. So right after the season ended and the whole COVID-19 stuff took place, I went home and I spent long times with my parents. With my parents, my family, my sisters. They really took care of me, getting my head back right after that hard season. And after that, I was like, all right, it's time. So me and Doug got together, rehab every day. Nevin and Charlotte, rehab every day. Was lifting, shooting, just working on my game, running. So it's just been, all this time has just allowed me to really focus on myself.
We have real Leaky right here, but I see that Leaky also has sticker Leaky on the wall behind him. You guys have a lot of shirts and stickers and stuff that are in your image. Who is the worst? What's the worst sticker or shirt of somebody and you're like, that looks nothing like you? Who is that guy?
I think it was one of Armando. It looked a little too normal. It was just his cartoon just looked too normal. It looked kind of funny, and we always give him crap about that. So yeah, he definitely the first ones.
I think Leaky's face, it was like, oh, it was like he smelled something bad when he was thinking about that. He was like, oh, Armando's was.
Who has a lot of big heads of me like that, and I was gonna say my mom, because she posts stuff every day, all day. If y'all follow her on social media, that's all you see. So that's what it reminded me of.
We just need to get up with her, and we'll get maybe we could put a big old Leaky fathead back there behind us, and we'll just have it there.
She's a big pod listener. I bet she's got stuff she can send us.
Yeah, I had to take that one from her because she, as soon as I walked in the door, I see my dog tearing it up. I was like, oh no, I can't have it.
You gotta give some respect to the fake Leaky, the cartoon Leaky. You can't let the dog have it, man.
Yeah, my dog was tearing it up, so I had to take it away.
Now, Leaky, you are, of course, legendary on the podcast because you called Da Baby and Lil Baby before anybody knew who they were.
Yeah.
And you told people that they needed to keep an eye on those guys. Jones and I became big fans of both babies.
Yeah.
And we were out ahead of everybody. So who can you tell us here in late 2020, early 2021, who do we need to be watching so that we'll be ahead of everybody this year?
Oh, man. There's so many guys out. I've just been listening to a lot of J. Cole lately. So I'm trying to think. I think Rod Wave and Roddy Rich. I feel like they're gonna take off here soon.
All right, Adam, get your notepad out. Make sure you got that ready to go.
Now, can pod listeners listen to them with the kids in the car?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
They have some bass songs. Yeah.
Family-friendly entertainment, just like Leaky Black is.
Yeah, that's right.
Leaky, man, it's so good to see you, man, and I wish we could be doing this in the same room, but great to see you. Looking forward to seeing you on the court here soon, and always appreciate your time.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate you guys having me, man. I miss you guys. Hopefully see you soon.
Time for our social drive here on the Carolina Insider. A little slower there, moving the steering wheel today.
I try to vary it. I don't want to speed, and I was just taking in my surroundings.
So let's start with Tar Heel football, the big matchup with NC State coming up at noon on Saturday. And somebody who will forever be tied to the Carolina State matchup is Gio Bernard. And on the pro level, great to see Gio get into the end zone this past weekend for the Cincinnati Bengals, as he was able to slide in there against the Indianapolis Colts to give the Bengals the early lead in that one. And gosh, anytime you talk about Gio Bernard and it's NC State week, it's hard not to think about 2012 and that memorable punt return for a score, one of the most memorable plays in the Carolina State rivalry history, at least from the Tar Heel side of things. Let's take a look and listen.
Tar Heels do set up the return. Great kick by Bauman. Bernard fields it at the 26. Heading to the far side. Gio at the 35. Gio, he's at the 50. No, he's not. Yes, he is. Gio, he's going to take it for a touchdown. Are you kidding me?
Gio Bernard with the punt return score. And Adam, just quite simply, first of all, one of the loudest moments in Kenan Stadium history, and again, one of the most memorable moments in this rivalry.
I think that's one of the most, if not the one Carolina football play that everyone would identify. If you had to say your favorite Carolina football moment, that one's going to get a ton of votes. Fun trivia, Gio originally didn't go out to return that punt.
Right.
Tar Heels made a late change. History changed.
Roy Smith was back there to receive the punt originally for the Tar Heels, but Gio, who had been shaken up earlier in the game, decided that he wanted to be in there, and aren't we glad that he was. So the meeting coming up on Saturday is the first time that both State and Carolina have been ranked and facing one another since 1993. And Adam, that 1993 matchup, pretty famous for some heated moments during that one and after that one as well.
Things got a little chippy at Carter Finley Stadium. This was at a point in the rivalry where State had controlled this rivalry. Carolina was taking it over. There was a bit of a sideline kerfluffle, and then there was a big old kerfluffle right on the field during the postgame handshake. That's Carolina assistant coach Donnie Thompson, NC State assistant coach Ted Kane. They elected not to shake hands, but instead to have a brawl.
Insert joke about social distancing here. All right. Hopefully that doesn't happen this weekend between Carolina and NC State. But one thing we do hope that happens this weekend is that you, yes, you are in the stadium to cheer on the Tar Heels. And Adam, we are going to help a lucky Tar Heel fan with that. Just like during the Virginia Tech game, we have 2 tickets to this State game to give away. How are we going to do it?
We've got 2 good tickets. Remember, it's 7% capacity, but you can be there. Let's just make clear, you and a Tar Heel fan.
Yeah.
Not you and your NC State buddy, not you and your Wolfpack brother-in-law, you and another Tar Heel fan. Here's what you need to do. You need to reply to this video on Facebook. You got to reply. Don't start your own. Reply to this video and use a picture of your favorite Carolina NC State memory. It could be your own personal photo that you took. You're at the game, you're having fun. It could be a photo of Gio running back the punt or T.A. McClendon getting stopped at the goal line. We could go on for days. Reply to either the video on Facebook or the video on Twitter with that picture and the hashtag Carolina Insider. We'll take a look at all those replies and all those pictures, and we'll have the winner for you on tomorrow's audio version of the Carolina Insider. So download that and listen to get the winner, and you'll be going to the game on Saturday.
Looking forward to that. Again, it is noon on Saturday in Kenan Stadium. All right, let's stick with some football, Adam, and a recent Tar Heel, Jake Lawler, who we had on the audio version of the podcast, by the way, with a terrific interview. Jake is no longer playing football at Carolina, but still doing some great things. No surprise here, as there is a local film festival, Film Fest 919, that has some ties to UNC as well. And Jake and his brother have submitted a short film for this film festival. We have a little preview of the film. Let's take a look.
I don't have anything against him personally, but it's not on me to help him out. In life, there are consequences to the choices that we make, good and bad. We have to accept those consequences and change them alone.
Yeah, Adam. Dramatic, I can already tell.
It's a shame that Jake has let himself go physically since he moved out to California. Really disappointing.
Get a looser fitting shirt, Jake.
But Jake's had a ton of success already in California, got a great job, has had a ton of meetings with very important Hollywood names that you would know, and he is on the fast track to us being able to say in 5 years, hey, remember when we had Jake Lawler and we had the mobile pod and we were down there in the basement of the Smith Center? That was fun, and now he's a big star.
If you'd like to learn more about that film festival, by the way, it is filmfest919.com, filmfest919.com. And again, Jake Lawler and his brother have an entry in that festival. All right, Adam, a couple of interesting tweets regarding Tar Heel football here over the last couple of days. These were both pretty fun.
Yeah, the Carolina Insider Research Department has been working hard on this first one that Mac Brown tweeted out. It's a shot of Coach Brown and Coach Bobby Bowden from Florida State. What we've determined is this is the highest level of Apex One gear that's ever been on the Carolina Insider when you put this with the video from 1993. I would have worn that shirt then, and I would wear that shirt today. Also, Jones, several listeners pointed out, high level of pleats on those khaki pants at midfield right there. Also great to see Bobby Bowden in that photo. Coach Bowden, unfortunately, was hospitalized recently with a battle with COVID, but he is out, he is home. Great to hear Coach Bowden, who is now 90 years old, is back safely at his home, and certainly glad to hear that Coach Bowden is doing better. So, Adam, we go from that to one of the more random tweets that I've seen here recently that has to do with Carolina football. It comes from one of the best to ever do it on the golf course, Phil Mickelson, shouting out Coach Brown and the Heels. And it just came out of nowhere. And then, of course, Mac Brown replied to his evidently friend, Phil Mickelson. Jones, there's one thing that you can be absolutely sure of. Mac Brown knows everyone. Yeah, that's right. And in fact, talking about the Carolina Insider Research Department, we dug a little deeper into this Phil Mickelson-Mac Brown relationship and found that there is a little more to it. Found this video from the Golf Channel. Let's take a look.
Phil's been a great friend for about 20 years now. And we started playing in the Byron Nelson around 2000, 2001, and he knew more about our team than I did. So that scared me a little bit. But I quit coaching. Phil's the first call. He says, come to the Madison Club. You need to learn to play golf better. Okay. No excuses anymore. You got plenty of time. You're free. So we play about 6, 7 holes, and I said, what do you think? He said, you got to help me. I said, what do you mean? He said, you've got to make all your misses go in the same direction. You're hitting them to the right. You're hitting them to the left. And he said, I can't help you. So I had lunch with him today. We followed him for 9 holes. Afterwards, he said, so help me. They all going the same way? And I said, yeah, they're all going left. And he said, good. Hit them a little bit straighter. So that's it.
See, that's the kind of advice you get from one of the best golfers ever to play.
That's how you get to be best in the world.
Is there anyone Mac Brown doesn't know, Adam?
No, if he doesn't know them, Miss Sally Brown does know them.
All right, let's go from football and golf to baseball. And Adam, Carolina baseball has a long history of some really, really high-level pitchers, both at the college level and then going on to succeed at the pro level. And that's the subject of a couple of different tweets we have now.
Just an incredible story with Daniel Bard, who spent this year with the Colorado Rockies. If you missed him on the audio podcast, it's really worth going back and listening to the September 15th of 2000 edition. He tells a little more about his story, which at that time we didn't know was going to, well, we suspected it might end with the Comeback Player of the Year award, which he did win, got more than twice as many votes as any other player in that category. So congratulations to Daniel Bard, who had a great year. And the World Series currently going on is prominently featuring another former Carolina pitcher, Kyle Snyder. His last year in Chapel Hill was 1999, and then he was the 7th overall pick of the Royals. Spent 5 seasons in the majors as a pitcher, won a World Series, and he's been coaching with the Rays since 2012 and is the pitching coach for the Rays, who have a formidable challenge in front of them with the bats of the Los Angeles Dodgers. But congratulations to Kyle Snyder, who's trying to win his 2nd World Series to go with that one he won as a player, James.
We've been doing the podcast for a while, but not since 2000, like Adam said. It was 2020 that interview with Daniel Bard occurred, so just about a month ago.
But imagine if he had forecasted in 2000 that in 2020 he would win Comeback Player of the Year.
Yeah, let's go back to, sadly, close to the year 2000. This is 2004, and Adam, you saw this piece of footage with Raymond Felton, and it grabbed your attention.
I thought this was important because there was the point guard contest this summer on Carolina social media, and it became evident that some of the whippersnappers don't know Raymond Felton. This is quintessential Raymond Felton. This is right after a brawl in the Carolina Duke game. He gets the rebound, swings his elbows a little bit, comes down, 3 in your face, then comes back and slaps the floor on the Blue Devils in a Carolina win. It does not get more Raymond Felton than that clip right there.
Yeah, he was the definition of tough little nut. I think he may have been the first tough little nut in the Coach Williams era.
He invented it. Another tough little nut, well, he would have been if he had played for Coach Williams, was Hubert Davis. Hubert Davis Instagram getting some prominent feature on the Carolina Insider.
It's on fire.
As Hubert was able to, according to him, check off a bucket list item. He met Larry Miller this week. Larry Miller, 2-time ACC Player of the Year, the only Tar Heel to ever do that twice, is in Chapel Hill this week. In fact, Jones, not only did Larry Miller meet Hubert Davis, Larry Miller also met Jones and Adam, and you'll be able to hear from Larry Miller next week on the Carolina Insider. Really enjoyed the opportunity to sit down and chat with him about his new book.
Yeah, and as Adam mentioned, 2-time ACC Player of the Year. He was named one of the 50 best players in ACC history back in 2002 when that list came out, so certainly one of the very best to ever do it at Carolina. Adam, let's finish things off. We had a fun visit from a pair of podcast listeners this past week. We always enjoy when we get a chance to see or talk to some podcast listeners. This is Abram and Cary Graham, originally from the area. They moved and lived in England for several years because of work. They're back now in North Carolina. They joined us in Pod World headquarters to say hello, but most importantly, Adam, they took an arms crossed, serious face photo, masked up, of course, with us, and they brought us some gifts, most importantly. Or was I having a serious face in that picture? We'll never know. They did bring us some giant Skittles, not pictured in that tweet. Our Skittles shelf, some people have a trophy shelf. We have a Skittles shelf, all different variety of Skittles, but we did not have giant Skittles. We now do, and we've sampled giant Skittles. Black currant, the purple flavor. Jones, thoughts? No, negative. We need England to catch up with America and have the, not really grape, just the fake purple flavor. Yeah. That's the way to go. Look, the colonials didn't fight for their independence to have to eat these black currant Skittles. They wanted grape Skittles. We've ended very strongly here on the Carolina Insider. We appreciate you being here with us today. Another reminder about how you can win those tickets. You need to reply to either this Facebook post or the video on Twitter. Reply to that tweet or this post on Facebook with a picture from your favorite Carolina NC State moment and the hashtag Carolina Insider. We will pick one winner, 2 tickets for one winner to go to the game coming up on Saturday. Again, that's noon on Saturday with radio coverage beginning at 11 a.m. We'll see you next time on the Carolina Insider.
See you later, Big Grit.